first of all, the concept we think to cope with climate change, it seems we need some consensus internationally, because if one country would like to do that, the other country, they do not want to do that. And yes, the effect is not so good. So there should be some consensus for all the world. I think the COP did a good job in the past several years. For example, the Paris Agreement, or COP26, or this year there will be COP27. And the second part, I think the government should have policy, because yes, you have your consensus and you have need your policy. And the third part, maybe some behavior change for corporate and individual, because if we just do the way we were, then we cannot change anything. And I think the fourth part is the market should have the power. And when we say the market, I think the financial industry represents most of the market. So, for example, for the banking industry, we just have the power to allocate the funds in the society. So yes, we should help to deal with the climate change problem. So for E.Sun, the first part that E.Sun did is our operation environment. Because yes, we are a company, we should change our behavior. So currently, we will change all our own building into green building in 5 years. That means 2027, we will change all our building into green building. And then in Taiwan, we prepare to use only renewable energy for our operation in 2030. So that means each year we will raise 10% of green energy. And in 2040, all the world, E.Sun operation will use the green energy. Because in Vietnam, in Cambodia, maybe we still have to wait for a little longer for they to set up there, for example, solar power plant or the wind power plant, just like that, the green energy. So in Taiwan, the deadline is 2030, and in all the world is 2040. And last year, we already announced E.Sun. We are the first financial company to announce we were the net zero emission in 2050. So we are the first financial industry. Even we are earlier than our government to say that. So this is all our picture. So I think the first thing is from your operation environment, and the second part is the green loan, because the market have the power to allocate the fund. So we would like use the fund to help our customer. So yes, in 2015, we took part in Equator Principle. So we are the first tier to participate in Equator Principle in 2015. And we are the first one to sign the PCFD. And then last year, we announced 2050, there will be net zero emission, and just follow the SBTI, the tough regulation. That means the 1.5 Celsius degrees. And in this year, in March, actually, we just got approval from STBI. We are the first bank to get approval. And then we are the top 3 in the world, because the financial industry is quite complicated. So the SBTI say they need some time to prepare how to deal with the financial industry. I think we are the pioneer. So we hang in our application, and we are the first bank to get approval in Taiwan, and we are top 3 in the world banking industry. So yes, we know how to deal with. So the first thing is we put a lot of money in renewable green energy. For example, the solar power plant and offshore wind plant. And we know that there are some risks, but since we learned a lot of lessons from Australia, we learned a lesson from US our branches. So yes, so when we did all the business, we already have research and we have complete our expertise. And then we develop an ESG linked loan because when the company they did their ESG, the better they did, the lower the interest rate. So we think yes, it seems quite good performance in green loan part. And the third part is something about responsible investment. So currently, for example, we have 1.8 trillion loan and we have 1 trillion investment. So yes, when it is the loan hold, every year we will write a letter to the CEO of the company. Some is the stocks and some is the bond we hold. We just write to the CEO and to say our ESG idea and the concept, and we invite all our invested company to do their ESG very well. And in Taiwan, we are the bank issue the more green bonds in Taiwan, and we help our customer to issue their green bond. So we are the #1 underwriter in Taiwan. We help our local customer. Even in international bond market, we are the #1 underwriter to issue green bond for the foreign companies. And the fourth part is something about responsible product. For example, when we say our mutual fund, we will recommend the ESG mutual fund to our customers. And for example, we issue is kind of about 7 million credit cards. And each credit card, they will emit 0.9 kilogram CO2 equivalent emission. And it's 7 million, so it's a huge amount. So currently, we issue net zero credit card. That means we will offset all the credit card CO2 emission. And currently, it's kind of about 60% of our credit card is net zero emission credit card. And by 2025, all the credit card circulation in Taiwan issued by E.Sun, they will be net zero credit card. So this fourth part, I think, is quite important. And then the fifth part is customer engagement. So from last year on, we invite our customer to engagement. That means we will have declared our ambition. For example, in 2025, what we can reach, then we sign agreement. So last year, we invite 32 big companies to have a customer engagement. And Vice President Lai Ching-te just come to say the congratulations. And this year in August, we invite 101 big company to engage in ESG initiative. And this represent about 23% of our GDP. Their revenue represent about 23% of Taiwan GDP. And yes, the President Tsai Ing-wen just come E.Sun by herself because the President think it's very important things and the bank just fulfill its responsibility. So the President Tsai just come to E.Sun to say some words to congratulate every companies and E.Sun to do the right things. So we think the 5 part is our ESG strategy from our operating environment, then a green loan, and then responsible investment, responsible product, And finally, the customer engagement actually is our whole strategy for ESG. And we know that even when we do ESG, they still have some risk. So yes, when we provide a fund to, for example, offshore wind power, actually we will invite a lot of foreign banks to participate, the risk participate. So we will share some risk with our partner. Or I think because in Europe there are several government guarantee institution. They will provide some risk participation method to lower the local banks' risk appetite. So I think from that we learn a lot of things, and we think it's our responsibility to help our customer to cope with the climate change and then to survive in the long run. Yeah. I think there's several ways to do that. The first way is your supply chain. For example, TSMC, their supply chain is more than 1,000 companies, and most is SME. So TSMC, they are huge conglomerate. So they have the resources. So we just encourage the huge company to fulfill their responsibility to help their supply chain. Because yes, for example, the Apple said that it's not only TSMC, including the supply chain of TSMC, all the carbon equivalent emission actually calculate in TSMC, just as scope 3 for the banking industry is the same. So I think in Taiwan, the first thing is the huge conglomerate should fulfill their responsibility to help their supply chain. This is the first part. And the second part, yes, the banking industry should fulfill its responsibility. For example, currently in E.Sun, we already have the first green banking management, how to say that, consultant, because there are more than 70 people that already get a license to understand how to deal with green policy and how to help the bank, our business, and to help our customer. And the second part is relationship manager, because it's kind of about 200 relationship manager to deal with the loan and to serve the huge conglomerate and SMEs, and all the relationship manager that already have their lesson. And we have internal training program to teach them how to help SMEs. And I think currently we already provide carbon emission calculator for all our customers. That means, for example, I am SME. I really don't understand how much carbon equivalent emission I did in the whole years. Actually, we cooperate with some organization because they have all the industry information. And because the listed company, actually, they have to declare their ESG report. So they already have all the information for all the listed company or huge company they are willing to declare by themselves. And then they can understand the average of the industry. So yes, our SME customer is very easy. When they put their PIN number, that means every company in Taiwan, they have their PIN number. We call it 统一编号. Yeah. So when they put their PIN number, their identity number, then immediately they can understand how much carbon equivalent emission they did last year. I think it is approximate, but I think they already provide a lot of information for the SME. And the second part, our relationship manager will discuss with the SME owner or their management team. And if they would like to do something, how can they? We can provide some service, and if necessary, we can invite some consultant for them. But we know that the SME they can pay only quite cheap fee, I think. So yes, currently we still would like to help them. And the third part for E.Sun, we already have our internal carbon fee. That means if the relationship manager they make a lot of loan, and yes, we can calculate how many carbon equivalent emission for each relationship manager and for each our banking center, corporate banking center. So currently, every relationship manager understanding how many customers they serve, how many loans they lend, and they represent how much carbon emission, and then their quota. So they have to pay the difference, because if the quota is 100 and currently you already emit 120, then each ton we will charge you $29.2 for internal carbon price. I think this is a new try for E.Sun to do internal carbon price, but I think it is a very good beginning, because currently every corporate banking center, the manager understand how much loan they made and how many carbon emission they have to endure. And each relationship manager gather information. So I think it's a good beginning to manage the carbon emission in the future, because number tells a lot of things. And if you can put the number in front of everyone, then they will think how to decrease the carbon emission, because it is not only do the good things, it's something about your performance evaluation. It's very interesting story, because when we would like to set up the internal carbon price, the first challenge is how much. So we just correct all the information, because from the World Bank, they already declared all the information. In April 2021, there are 61 market. Some is tax fee and some is tax exchange. So yes, we correct all the information. And the highest actually is from Sweden. Per ton, it costs $130. And the minimum actually is come from China. It's kind of about $1 per ton. So the difference is more than 100 times. So we just choose the amount, the 25 big amount market, and then to make average. So we just get a number $29.2 per ton. But next year we will calculate again. So each year we will have the new price. So I think this year is 29.2. Maybe next year there will be 32 or 33. So this is number one. And the second part, how can we understand the difference? How many carbon ton we will charge for each relationship manager? Because currently we just use the SBTI method. We just accept 1.5 Celsius degree by the end of this century. So that means per year we should reduce 4.2% of carbon emission. That means in 24 years later, there will be net zero. So it is kind of about 2044, I think, because the base is 2020. So it is even earlier than 2050, but we already apply, we already get granted by SBTI. So we know that per year, 4.2% decrease is necessary. So we will use 2020 as the best point. For example, this company in 2020, they emit 100. So next year, they will decrease 4.2. And 2 years, they will be decreased 4.8%, just like that. And then we too, for example, they have to decrease 4.8. So that means their quota is 91.2. And if they still maintain 100, then that 8.4, actually, that is the, I think we will charge for the relationship manager. And next year, that will be the new quota. So year by year, the pressure will be higher. I think in the first year, it's quite easy. But the second year and the third year, so we think, yes, we still need some time to learn a lesson and to get a pressure little by little to our relationship manager. So we think it just according to SBTI, and it just I think is quite fit for the human nature, because every year you just make progress for a little bit, and finally you will reach your target.